Yeah, welcome back to the show. It's still Bumper Breakfast, and we're talking power right now. Senate has demanded that there should be an immediate reversal of power privatization in the country. And on the phone, I have with me Mr. Sesan Okunade. He's an energy consultant. Good morning, Mr. Sesan.
Good morning, Yinka Kenny. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for answering our call all the time.
My pleasure always.
All right, now we're talking power. This morning, the Senate President Ahmad Lawan, he has stated that the country should consider approving, that the Senate should consider approving a motion that was moved by Senator Gabriel Suzwan on the power sector recovery plan. He said, we gave power to them, power generation and distribution companies, and they still come to the public to ask for funds. I think it's time for Nigeria to consider reversing the privatization of power sector, or they should just cancel the entire privatization process completely. If we leave it, we may not have power for another 10 years. That was a statement by the senator that moved the motion in the House. And Lawan also said that the privatization of the power sector has so far not been successful. We expected efficiency and effectiveness in the power supply. The discos have no power capacity to supply us power. The Gencos have challenges too. It is not a good commentary that we should continue to give them money. They are private businesses. We need to review this privatization. What is your take on this, Sesan Okunade? Hello, Mr. Sesan, are you there? Hello? Oh, I think I lost Mr. Sesan on the phone right there. I think if we can get Mr. Sesan back on the phone, it will be so nice to have him back on the phone. We're talking that the Senate finally they are talking about bringing back that. I think it was a wrong move in the first instance, privatizing the power sector of the country, and they are thinking about going back to status quo. That's I don't know why we're finding it difficult to get Mr. Okunade on the line, back on the line this morning. It would have been a good one to talk to him. But meanwhile, we go for a tiny little break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Ibn Abod Dixon about the online classes. Okay, I think we have Mr. Okunade back on the line with us. Before we go on that break, I think we have Mr. Okunade back on the line with us. Hello, Mr. Okunade, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, there was a slight break in transmission.
And that's what we're talking about, the break in transmission all over in the power sector. I don't know if you heard what I read out to you the other time.
Not really. I lost out immediately. You started the issue of Senate trying to say that they should reverse the tariff increase. Okay,
I was trying to tell you what went down at the House. The Senate President Ahmad Lawan, he stated on Tuesday, after the Senate had considered and approved a motion by Senator Gabriel Suzwan on the power sector recovery plan. He said, we gave power to them, that's to the power generation and distribution companies, and they still come to the public to ask for funds. I think it's time for Nigeria to consider reversing the privatization of the power sector, or they should just cancel the entire privatization process completely. If we leave it, we may not have power for another 10 years. Lawan said the privatization of the power sector has so far not been successful. We expected efficiency and effectiveness in the power supply. The discos have no capacities to supply us power. The Gencos have challenges too. He, however, said that it is not a good commentary that we should continue to give them money. They are private businesses. We need to review the privatization sector. What is your take on this?
Thank you very much, Inka, for having me. The Senate actually came up with this position, but there is a question for them. The privatization was done by the government, and they were made to understand that due diligence was done, feasibility studies were carried out, and several companies bidded for this, both the Genco and the Disco, and we were made to understand that the best hand with good capability to improve it were actually contracted to carry on the management of the company, both at the Genco and the Disco. But 5 years down the drain, we are hearing of so much complaint from them that we have not had any improvement. Is to tell us the approach that will put to things that has never worked. Also, what is the monitoring capability of government itself? If you sell something to an individual, as essential as power is, you are expected to monitor the activities and possibly have a review intermittently, biannually, annually, to review their performances. And also, definitely there are commitments on the part of the government to this Disco to enhance some of their deliverables. Are you meeting up to it? Take for example, I know when those guys are coming on board, part of what they requested was that the cost of electricity would be at a certain cost, of which the government felt that it's really too high and is going to really be hard on the citizen. And the NEC agreed that there's going to be a MITV, that is a multi-year tariff order, of which they are expected to be increasing, gradually till they get to the actual cost of delivering this to the masses. But on the part of the government, because of the political on the team, in the last 4 or 5 years, might not been effective. They have not increased the cost of this. And they have so many obligations fulfilled, in the sense that they have to pay their operating expense, they have to make payments to the market operators who supplies them this power. So
are you saying that this is a case of breach of contract?
Yeah, there is both the government and the individuals themselves as failed us, in the sense that the government had some aspects that they were supposed to fulfill. We were made to understand that they give them money. But if you give somebody money to carry out a particular project, how much of monitoring are you putting in place to make sure that what you ask them to use the money for, using it? The Disco are having so many challenges of infrastructure. The transformer that has been in place in the last 20 years is what they are still using. And you cannot go and buy an engine, a car that you bought 20 years ago, expect it to perform optimally. Let me tell you, if you give supply of 24 hours to some areas for 7 days, the transformer will back up, because it has expired, it has gone beyond the lifespan that is expected of it. So you just that the playing game between them asking to review. We expect that this review have been coming, annually, to review their performance, and definitely it's not all of them that will fail.
If I can understand you so well, Mr. Sesan,
yep,
you are putting the bulk blame on the table of the federal government.
Yeah, because they gave them the work and they have not been monitoring. You are coming back after 5 years. It has been the annual performance index that you have given to those people. You have communicated to the masses. It's not just enough to say, don't increase the tariff, don't do this. It's enough to say, okay, we have looked at it. These are areas we've seen you fall short of. These are areas we should improve. We have the chairman of the power sector, Sesan, saying that they've been giving so much money to the private sector. You've been giving money to them. How much of monitoring are you doing? That what they requested the money to be used for, which is basically infrastructure development, are being used for it. But these are not properly monitored. And that is why we are seeing that collapse that we've seen. Imagine, like 2 months.
So are you saying, let me put it to you right now, are you saying that the Gencos, the Discos, they are failed because they are not being monitored?
For real. You see, when you are not properly monitored, you do whatever you like. And also, on their own part, they have not gotten the cooperation, before now for the discos. The populace does not even have confidence in them because of the so-called estimated billing and some other things. So they are struggling to even get what they have been supplied. You discover that market operators have complained severally. Those are that the disco make payment to. They've complained severally that the disco are not making the full payment. Not until few months that they stood their ground, they have collected 100%, and that has affected the activities of the disco themselves to meet up with some of their clients and consultants that are actually offering them services. So, and part of the bottleneck is that they have expected that over the years there would have been a systematic of increasing the cost of tariff for this electricity supply so they can meet up their obligation. But the last 5 years they've not been able to do that. So they've been even to make their operating costs, not to talk of investing they said they have to do. So the blame is on both sides. Both the government gives money for infrastructural development in the sector, but have not been properly monitored. And the people that they are availing the money to, they feel they should use it to take care of the operating expense than the infrastructural development. So it's on both sides. And it's not just enough to say that we want to revert and say, let them review it and give us an objective.
Okay, before I let you go, Mr. Sesan, are you now saying that the call for the reversal of the privatization at this point in time is just is of no use, or is not needed? Is that what you're saying?
Yinka, to me,
should we still maintain status quo?
Let them carry out a proper review of the process. If they revert the privatization, is it not that they are still going to sell it to other private companies? Due diligence was done on those people and we are made to understand that they are capable, they can do. So let us know what actually is the problem, why they are not meeting up to the expected results that they promised to give to the populace. And with this, we can have a common ground on how to see how to improve the power sector. But it's not just enough to say that you are cancelling the privatization. Whether you like it or not, it has have its own benefit one way or the other. And living business, this business of power sector should not be managed by the government. It should be in the hand of the private sector.
Thank you.
Well regulated.
Thank you very much, Sesan Okunade. I appreciate your contribution to the show this morning.
Thank you very much for having me, Yinka.
All right. That was Sesan Okunade, an energy consultant, talking to us about the issue of the Senate calling